Hey, what's your name and what did you place?
My name is Jesse Simnegar, and I placed top 16 at YCS Providence playing Maliss.
All right, let's get in the profile.
All right, so pretty straightforward. Played 2 Dormouse, 2 Cat, 2 Rabbit, 3 March Hare, 3 Backup, 1 Wizard, and then 2 Underground, 1 Terraforming, 1 Gold Sark, 2 Allure, 1 Mirror, 1 GWC, and 1 MTP. So we cut down on 1 Allure to make sure that we still had 18 non-engine, which was the number that we were trying to get to. TB11, we didn't play it, as most lists did not play it, as it's not really necessary for any of your combos anymore. Now that you can search March Hare off of MTP, you have a line of play without TB11. Mirror was great in the main deck. Honestly, I really liked having this card. Helps you a lot with your half boards, makes Ransom like an absolutely incredible card, and turns your Underground into a search when you need it. Only played 2 Chessy Cat, so that we don't clog too much on names. I think I would have liked to have a third. At the end of the day, like maxing out on consistency would have been nice, but like I said, we wanted to hit that 18 non-engine like amount basically, and 3 Hare is like always the way.
Right.
I've heard some people talk about 2 Hare, but 3 Hare was always the way. For non-engine, I played 3 Fualos, 3 Perulia, and 3 Droll. These cards are, or not only, but these cards are really, really nice this format. Decks are incredible currently, like the amount that they can do. And so you really need to discourage your opponent from playing. So we took an approach to try to put our opponent on a half board every single game. Droll is not even that bad into Maliss. Like it cuts them off from a lot of draws. It cuts them off from their Ignister cards, which is nice. Same with Perulia. Perulia Maliss will still give you a few draws to find either Fualos or the rest of our non-engine, which I'll talk about in a second. And then otherwise, like all the Ryziel variants, like particularly Ryziel Mitsu, and then also I felt like Ryziel Heraldic was like a sleeper pick for this tournament, and Droll's like really crazy into those cards, or into those decks. Plus, we play Almirage in the extra deck, so it allows you to like normal summon these, turn them into Cybruses, which is helpful in some lines, and also allows you to like combo next to a backup with any hand trap. And then for the rest of the non-engine, also played 3 Ash. It hits literally everything, and it hits all the Mulch armies, so this card's just godly. 3 Impulse. This is the best hand trap of the format. This is one of the primary reasons to play Maliss, in my opinion, as I don't think Maliss is like considerably more consistent or necessarily powerful than maybe some of the other decks, but Impulse is just an absurd card. So I wanted to make sure I played a deck with this in it, and I didn't think that pure Mitsurugi was doing enough. And then the last non-engine that we played were 3 Metal Tronus. So because we played so much like floodgate hand traps that would put our opponent on a half board, we wanted to have like a very flexible breaker card. Metal Tronus is kind of strange in this format with a lot of Maliss running around. It has outs such as Impulse and Ash Blossom, but apart from that, this card is like a pseudo starter in the mirror. It's like pseudo consistency boost and is like the absolute cleanest out to detonator. And so I think I was fine with playing this. Like in my personal run, I played a decent amount of Ryziel and Maliss variants. Some people I know played a more wide variety. It's just kind of the variants of Swiss. But this card was solid for me. So that's 40 cards in the main.
All right, extra deck.
Shouts to Jama Blue. So we played 2 Lingaribo, which is mandatory. The Almirage, which I mentioned, to turn any of our hand traps into Cybers monsters. And then Link Spider turned all of your Ignister cards into playing through Nib like entirely. So 4 Link 1s. We replace our 1 Link Decoder with Splash Mage and Cybers Wicked for the combos. Did not play Haggard. SP was our only Link for banishing from our graveyard. But I think it was fine. I didn't actually summon SP the entire weekend. I think a lot of Maliss players had a similar experience. But this card's like, I don't want to say a comfort card, but it's a really nice piece of generic utility that you kind of want to have. Even though I didn't summon it, I think I would still play it again. And then we played Pit Knight early. So this was our tech for the weekend to beat Chaos Hunter, because we kind of expected Chaos Hunter to be relatively common. And we also played Chaos Hunter for what it's worth, even though I didn't think it was actually that good. Between early and Bomber Dragon, you actually have pretty clean ways to deal with the card. I did not like Cerberus at all. Cerberus felt really inconsistent and conflicted with your Cybers lock a lot. But once we like landed on this card, Chaos Hunter felt like your opponent was just -2ing for no reason. So I really like this. And also this card comes up with like half boards you can end on this plus Firewall Dragon. And this beats like any normal summon. If your opponent goes like normal Dormouse, activate effect, you can chain Firewall to bounce the Dormouse and then chain Pit Knight early to negate it, which is really strong. So I like this card overall. I don't think I summoned it for the first like 9 or 10 rounds of the tournament, and then once I summoned it the first time, I summoned it for every match after that, which is pretty funny. And then the 3 Link 3s, standard, access code, Firewall Dragon, and A-Code Talker. So we played the A-Code because I felt like when you wanted to make as wide a board as possible, especially after you got hit with cards like Perulia, where your opponent was going to have more than 6 cards to try to break your board, having the most unfair card on your end board, I think was what I wanted to do. I don't think it's like a completely mandatory card. Just like with how Terahertz was back in the beginning of Maliss format, where like if you were getting to the point where you're summoning a Link 5, you probably won anyway. But this card has like a lot more niche applications, like beating like double negates on Binder set if your opponent's like trying to beat the dodge. Being able to, one of the big ones is being able to summon out your Link Reaver from the graveyard. This card I thought was nice, so I liked it. I don't think it's mandatory, but I think it was cool. Detonator for the Metaltronus. Another thing worth noting is I played against 2 Blue Eyes and 1 White Forest, and those decks both have light 25s, so I was able to make my Metaltronus live through that. So I think what helped this card feel nice in my deck was the fact that the weird rogue matchups I played also were, I was able to at least activate the card, which is often the problem with Metaltronus. Side deck, 3 Lancia, 3 Chaos Hunter. Like I said, I don't think this card's like amazing, but I think you want as many unfair hand traps as possible going into Maliss. We didn't play Meows because I did not want to have 9 Mulch Armies in my deck. That felt way overcommittal, especially when like you could lose games where your opponent bricks, which sounds really weird if you just have like infinite Mulch Armies. And also players were just like sending it into Mulch Armies, like especially Perulia. So I don't know. I think it might have been fine to play Meows, but I think this was fine too. When you pair Chaos Hunter with any of the other high impacts, like with another Mulch Army that recovers you your cards, then this card feels unfair, even if they have the out to it. 1 AI Michu as a thrust target in the side deck to find backup. This card's, I mean, it's just Rhoda for an Ignister card, so it's relatively self-explanatory. But it came up a ton for me to thrust for this card going second because of the way our non-engine is, where it's like so turn pass, like level of non-engine. Being able to interact with your opponent puts up like one thing, like a detonator or whatever, to being able to thrust for this card and deal with their one card and then just win is broken. Especially through Lancia is the main thing here. Like I won through Lancia going second multiple times. Another Lancia out, and then the 3 thrusts, 1 talents. This card was honestly incredible for me all weekend. I played 3 targets for it as well. Generic target, Maliss, obviously for Lancia, and then for both Ryziel and Mitsurugi, this card's really nice because you mess with the Mitsurugi levels for their ritual summoning. You obviously turn all the Ryziels into 3s. And also it gives you an extra turn. So we kind of valued the extra turn that this card gives you over D-Barrier being a bit more targeted. And that is about it. I can quickly show the line where if you open like any name, so say like a Chessie Cat plus a backup, how you can beat Chaos Hunter. So let's just say this card gets special summoned. Like here's a better example. Let's start Underground. We go Underground for Dormouse, and our opponent Chaos Hunters us here. From here, you can link 1 to make Lingaribo. Special, that's a token. Make Lingaribo. Special your backup. Backup effect adds you the wizard, and then you discard a card. You can wizard out the Dormouse and itself. Then you can make these 2 into Pit Knight, these 2 into Splash Mage, and now you can go Splash Mage target Dormouse, and if they have no response, you can chain Pit Knight early, targeting the Chaos Hunter. Even if they have a response to stop you from using Pit Knight early, you can then turn these 2, unless the response is like exactly Valor, you can turn these into Ransom and then go Ransom 1 and then chain Pit Knight early to the Ransom. So you have multiple ways to trigger the Pit Knight early. And then once you out the Chaos Hunter, you can just like full combo, and they're down 2 cards because they summoned Chaos Hunter. So
Wow. All right. So any shout outs?
yeah. So first of all, big shout outs to my team, Ojama Blue, who helped me go to the tournament. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, shouts to Token.
Shout out to Julian Kahan. He's my main testing partner. We tested a lot for this tournament, and it was a fun time. Shout out to all my friends who support me constantly and show me lots of love. So, John behind the camera, we got Adrian here, we got other Adrian, Zach, so big shouts to those guys. Shouts to my family for supporting me as well. Fenrir Support Squad, shouts to you guys, like V, Michael, everyone. I'm probably forgetting a ton of people. Shouts to Andrew and Amai for traveling with us and rooming with us. And then I think that is about it. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.